I'm Kimberly Lawson Roby, and this is the Woman God Created You to Be podcast. The Woman God Created You to Be podcast is for the woman who wants to become the very best she can be in all areas of her life, and it is my sincere prayer that together you and I will be able to do just that. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me, and here's today's episode. So, I want to begin by asking you a few questions. Are you your sister's keeper? Are you happy about the success of other women? Or does another woman's success cause you to struggle with feelings of anxiety or jealousy? Is it hard for you to congratulate another woman about her promotion, her new business, or some of her other accolades? Or worse, is it a struggle for you to simply compliment her on how great she looks in the beautiful new outfit she's wearing? Because while in the last episode I talked about the fact that not everyone wishes you well, today I want to talk about sisterhood and how important it is for women to celebrate and support other women. This, of course, is something that should happen automatically, but sadly, support from some women can sometimes be non-existent. I mean, there is no doubt that none of us will ever be able to directly support every single woman alive, but what we can do is celebrate all women in our hearts, whether we know them personally or not. As for me, this is something I have always believed in because sisterhood is special. Having other women in your life who love you, support you, and want the best for you, and who you love, support, and want the best for right back, well, a relationship of that kind is incomparable. To be honest, even as a child, I believed in girl power, and when I became a young woman, I believed in everything related to the idea of genuine sisterhood. Then, whenever women accomplished anything wonderful at all, women I had known for years or women I had never met, I found myself smiling and being excited for them because, to me, when one woman wins, we all win. Of course, as I got older, what I soon learned was that not every woman feels this way. I discovered that some women who may initially portray themselves as friendly can eventually become friendly enemies. And one of the reasons I think this can happen is because as much as some women may actually want to support you and be happy for you, they soon become much more concerned about competition and the idea that maybe it's not in their best interest to support any woman who might be experiencing a bit more success than they are. Or if they believe they're actually doing much better than her, they worry that she'll become just as successful as they are or more successful even. But what I wish all women knew was that pushing other women forward, wanting the absolute best for them, and celebrating another woman's success is what can help make all the difference in their own lives. Because when we celebrate and root for other women, we are also rooting for ourselves. Best of all, we are confirming the fact that women can do whatever they set their minds to, and that if one woman can become hugely successful, what she has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt is that we can all become successful in our own right. So instead of being envious or despising the success of another woman, we should be encouraged by it. We should shout that woman's praises as often as we possibly can to anyone who will listen, and we should be just as excited as we would be if it were happening to us. But at the same time, what I have also found to be fascinating is how quickly some men will tend to support you before other women will. For example, in my book, The Woman God Created You to Be, I talk about my two brothers in the publishing industry, both of whom have now sadly passed away, but I talk about how from the time I first met them, they began encouraging and supporting me in a way I will always be grateful for. I will never forget either of them because back then, not only was I new to the industry and trying to find my way as a newly self-published author, I also hadn't been able to find any female authors who would even respond to my email messages. So to this day, Will and I still talk about both my publishing brothers and what a blessing they were to me, and it is the reason I try my very best to respond to every writer who emails me with questions. Because while my schedule just won't allow me to read and offer blurbs or personal quotes of mine that can be printed on the front or back of a book for every author who contacts me, I know that the very least I can do is offer them a few words of advice or share links to websites that will help them in the areas of writing, publishing, or book marketing. The other thing I try to do is recommend new books written by debut and veteran authors to family members and friends. But no matter what, When I am sitting in my home office, scrolling through social media posts that announce the accomplishments of other women, even when no one can see me at all, I am still smiling and rooting for every woman imaginable. And not only that, I am inspired and motivated by them, and I am praying for them. I am proud of who they are, and I am proud about all the wonderful work they're doing, because sisterhood means everything. This is also the reason that we as women should never see other women as competition. We should celebrate each other daily and treat one another as lifetime sisters, because here is the unfortunate truth. Women have it hard. We all do in some form or fashion, or we will at some point in our lives, as did our mothers, their mothers, and the women before them. But if we stand together and make it a point to love each other, compliment each other, and fully have each other's back, we can build and create so much more than we already have. We can experience greatness, both individually and collectively, and truly become the amazing women God has always wanted us to be. Now for the 3 things you can do as it relates to today's topic. Number 1, build confidence in yourself and work hard at finding your own success and happiness. That way you won't have to feel bad when you hear about someone else's good news. You won't feel less than, because truth is, feeling less than is the real reason people become envious or they begin feeling jealous in the first place. It also goes back to that old saying about how, in order to love someone, you must first learn to love yourself. And then, in that same vein, if you want to be happy for other women, you must also find happiness deep within your own soul. Because not only is finding happiness an inside job, it is also the only way you will ever find peace. But more than anything, if you don't find happiness and you never arrive at a point in your life where you can truly be happy for other women, you will continue to block your own blessings. You will struggle unnecessarily. So please make a conscious effort and a decision to be genuinely happy for your sisters who have found great success, and then work as diligently and as hard as you possibly can to create your own success and contentment. Number 2, be loyal to other women. Being loyal to our spouses and other family members is a given, but we should also be loyal to our fellow sisters. We should be their loudest cheerleaders, and we should speak highly of them to everyone around us. Because while in the past, many of us may have been guilty of speaking negatively about other women behind their backs, or at least I know I have, it's as wrong can be. It's one of the worst things we can do, but with God's help, we don't have to continue on that particular path. We can become so much better than that. We can become loyal to all women and begin loving them and celebrating them in the exact same way we want to be loved, celebrated, and treated. We can motivate them, compliment them, and remind them on a regular basis that not only are we proud of them, but that we will support them from the very beginning to the very end. And number 3, encourage other women to be the best they can be. Because there are times when the only reason some women aren't being the best they can be is because they don't know any better. Sometimes it is simply because no one has ever told them how to do things any differently than the way they've always done them. Sometimes it may simply be as easy as you offering suggestions or recommendations that will help them in ways they never even knew they could be helped. For example, if you see another woman doing well at something, but you also know that if she improved on, say, 1 or 2 minor things, she could become even more successful, then you have an obligation to reach out to her. Yes, it would certainly be easier to just critique her actions or words and discuss them with others when she's not around, just as I was saying not long ago, behind her back. But that won't help her, which is the reason you must take on the responsibility of letting her know personally and privately about what it is she can do to become better. I will admit, though, that there have been times when I haven't always done this myself because not everyone can receive constructive criticism, or they may not believe they need to improve upon anything at all. But when I know for sure that another woman wants to become the best she can be, I am glad to offer any advice I can, because in the end, what we should want is to see that woman operating in total excellence. We should encourage her and lift her up 1,000 times over, and we should feel honored about doing it. Because remember, when she wins, we all win, and that, in and of itself, should be reason enough alone to celebrate other women. And finally, here's a scripture to help you even further. May we shout for joy when we hear of your victory and raise a victory banner in the name of our God. May the Lord answer all your prayers. Psalm chapter 20, verse 5, New Living Translation. Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode, and as always, I pray that our time together has been a blessing to you in at least some way, and if it has been a blessing to you, I do hope you'll share this podcast with others. Until next time, please stay safe and know that I am praying all of God's wonderful blessings for you and your family, always. Thank you so much for listening, and if you'd like to receive further encouragement, please check out the companion book for this podcast, The Woman God Created You to Be, Finding Success Through Faith, Spiritually, Personally, and Professionally. Also, if you'd like to discuss today's topic or share a personal story, please visit me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Then, so you won't miss a single episode, please subscribe to the podcast or follow it through your favorite listening app or website. And if you would, please write a review and recommend the show to others. Until next time, much love, God bless, and thanks again.